back to Country Basket Weaving. I'm Sandy Atkinson, and the basket we're going to be working on today is our little granny market basket. We'll get right into our material and our cut pattern for this basket. You're going to need 5/8 inch flat. Cut 6 pieces from this that are 27 inches long, and cut 6 more pieces that are 29 inches long. You're also going to need number 2 round, 1/4 inch flat, 1/4 inch flat oval, half inch flat, and you're going to need one 9x13 D handle. You can also put some caning in it, but that's optional. This is our basket, and we're going to start out with our handle here. On your handle, if you have a handle that's a little bit different size, say 8x14, we'll go ahead and use it also. But right here I've put a mark on our center line. Mark out your center. Mark out 3/8 inch from each side, and these are guidelines as we work. We've already cut and soaked our material. I've got it soaking here. The reed needs to soak just a couple of minutes. And taking our longest pieces, which is our 29 inch pieces, we're going to take a book. I have a dictionary here. And we're going to lay them out. I want these pieces marked on the wrong side. And we're going to lay them out underneath our book so our center marks are all even. We have 6 pieces we'll be laying under here. The book is to help us hold these down. Then we're going to take our handle, this is our D handle, and weave it in, picking up every other one. Draw it up here. I'm not going to worry about my spacing other than trying to get it on the side marks in here. Taking up our 27 inch pieces, we're going to weave them the opposite that we weaved our handle. I have over here a 1/2 inch spacer. This was just a scrap piece of 1/2 inch that I've written 1/2 inch spacer on it, so when I keep it in my toolbox I know when I'm going to need it. And we're going to space each one of these out. Each row is a 1/2 inch from the other. This you can do as you go along. This row is going to weave opposite the row before it. I'm going to put 3 rows on each side. Okay, and I'm going to clip them with some clothespins here. Kind of go back here and eyeball these 6 pieces, the long pieces we laid along our handle. Okay, take off our book and turn this so that we can work on it facing us. Be careful with these pieces that you don't go in or out with your in pieces. They have a tendency to do that a little bit. Weave in our next pieces. Again, use our spacer. I'm going to weave in 2 more. You know, the market basket came about because they didn't have shopping carts and they didn't have shopping bags like our brown paper bags we have, so every family had a market basket that they would take to their general store and bring home their goodies in. One more space. There, we've laid out our basket. Now we need to come back and adjust it a little bit in here. Now we're going to go to our twining. That should be soaking also. Number 2 round is what we need for our twining. Oops, I got a tail here. You're going to need 2 different end lengths, and this is so that we don't stop and start at the same spot each time. Draw up and find a center, put a crimp in it, which is just a squeeze with our pliers. That'll make it bend without breaking. Come up here at the top, and we're going to work up here. I'm going to choose this one because it goes under. I want to stay away from my corners, and choose an under one, which is right here. Loop this number 2 around it, and we're going to do our twining. Twining is something that you're not going to get right away. You need to practice it. It's going to take time, but it's something you want to get down because it's something we use often. The one to the left is going to go behind the next empty spoke. That will make this one to the left. Hold this one down with your thumb. Now we've got a length here. It's going to tangle on us. Just keep straightening it out and be patient with it. When we come to a corner, on this corner we're going to bring this piece that's on the right over first. If I was to bring the left piece over, it would slide under there and not not grab itself. So we're going to bring the left one, pardon me, the right one over first, come with the left one, and then go under. Your corners are going to be one of two ways, and you just kind of have to stop and think about them. I'm going to twine this here and get this going so I can show you how to go around the handle. Now the handle is considered a spoke also, and if it was laying down flat it would be easy to understand, but because it's up, you may have to think about it. We need to bring the bottom piece to the right piece over first, and then take the left piece and go underneath the handle. Then go back to your original pattern. I'd like to do one more corner to show you. Remember this part? Now this one slides under here, and this is my right one, so I have to take my left one around first, then go back, get my right one, and bring it down. Let me do a couple more twines, and I'll show you how to add a new weaver. Okay, find my scissors. Let's cut this one off as if I had come to the end of my weaver so we can add a new one. Now I have no more room to weave there. So I'm going to come in here, pick up this piece that ran out. When I pick it up, it creates a hole. I'll slide that right down into the hole. Hold it with my fingers so I don't have a tendency to pull it out. And keep right on weaving. Let me show you another corner. Corners are something you may have to stop and think about. If I put this one first, it would slide under it, so I need to come over here and pick up the one to the left and go first in this case, then bring around my one to the right. Let me show you how to do this handle one more time too. Here's my weavers. The one underneath is going to come over the handle first. The one to the left will go under the handle. Then you're going to keep right on weaving. You're going to need to put in 3 rows. Got another corner. We'll go ahead and show you that. In this corner, the one to the right goes over first, then the left one goes behind. That locks it in. You'll want to follow this same pattern every time you come to a corner. Now I'm starting my second row. I want you to do a total of 3 rows. When you finish your 3 rows, your basket will look like this one here. And we have 3 rows on this one. This is the one I looped over here. I don't want to weave on that one again because that would be my 4th row. So I'm going to end here. Cut these 2 pieces off if there's any length left to them, and leave them on the inside. Later on we'll go over how to trim these back so they won't show. The next part is called upsetting your basket, and what we're going to do is bring these 4 pieces on each corner up, put a nice crease in them, and clip them with your pin. I'm going to do that on each one. Do the ones in between. We won't be clipping them, but we want to still bend them up or upset them. Clip your corners. Then we're going to take out our 1/4 inch flat oval pieces. We don't cut these pieces, we soak them in long lengths because we cut them as we go. Every basket is individual. Your basket may not look quite like mine when you get done, but that's okay. That's your personality coming out in your basket. Let's start over here at the side this time. Come back to your original pattern. This one is over and under here. I'm going to start, this one's over. Pardon me, we're going to go to this one. This is an under pattern here. So I'm going to start over up here. Take off my corner. You're always starting on an over. Go around the corner, come back here and pin up your basket. Now I need to put a clip over here to hold this piece down. Weave this over and under, all the way around the basket. If you've made a mistake, it'll show up when you come to the other side. The pattern won't work out. Clip your corner back up. Careful at your corners, you don't pull your weaver too tight. Again, this is the weaver. These are your spokes. Come around the corner. Clip your corner back up. I know this is going to look very sloppy. There is nothing to hold this together yet. So it takes about 4 rows before your basket really takes a nice shape to it. So don't become alarmed. When I get back to where I started, my weaver will go under where I started here and hide this end here. Then I'm going to weave it out 4. Clip my corner back together. And I'm going to hide it underneath the 4th row over here. So clip it off here. Always clip it the longest possible length, and then we'll hide it in there. Now, so we don't get an overlap over here of the buildup of our overlaps, we're going to reverse it and start on another side. Now this piece is too short. I'll save it for a later basket. Take out another piece, and we're going to put in another row. I'm always going to start on an over. Right here's my over. It's going to weave the very opposite of the row I just put in. As I work, I take and I keep each row pushed down so it butts up to the next row. And also keep pushing them down. Be real careful about your corners. You don't want to pull it tight. You have a tendency to pull it tight. Still looks sloppy. Oh, I'm coming apart here. Work it back together. Even with the second row, when I get finished with it, you'll see how it's starting to take a better shape. You may want to weave closer to yourself than I do. When I weave, normally that's what I do, but on film it's a little harder. Go under your handle. Keep pushing your rows down. This corner's giving me a little hard time here. I'm back to where I started. I'm going to overlap 4. That's a pretty basic pattern to remember, is overlapping 4. Clip it off. It's going to hide under this one, and it's 4 over. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's do another row, and even by the 3rd row you should see how it's shaping itself up here. Let's start this one over here. I'm going to cheat a little bit so I don't have to take this whole length of reed under. I'm going to start it under the handle and start the piece over here. Again, I'm on an over one. Undo my corner. Now you can see how the baskets is starting to come together. Take off your corner. Keep right on weaving. Go back and put your corner together. Now it's starting to hold itself together a whole lot better. The flat side of the 1/4-inch flat oval should be next to the basket. The oval side is on the outside. And we come over here and we're going to overlap 4 again. I really should go back and put my corners on. Overlap 4. Clip it, and it's going to hide under there. Go ahead and put your rows, the rest of your rows in. You should have approximately 24 to 27 rows. Depends on how high your handle is. You can see how that's starting to hold together now. When I have my rows in, your basket should look like this one. I'd like to mention here too, don't get your handle wet here where it's glued and it's dovetailed and glued together, because it will come unglued. This part I did get wet, but it's really not good to soak that too long either. Over here we have, these are our spokes. I have a spoke that is behind a weaver. And on this one it would be just the opposite. This spoke is in front of the weaver. If it's in front of the weaver, it's going to get a point. If it's behind a weaver, it's going to get cut off. Now think about this and make sure you don't make a mistake, because once it's cut, it's cut. If it's behind a weaver, it gets cut. If it's in front, it gets a point. You're going to work all the way around, finish trimming those off. Then we're going to come over here when that part's done. You can see inside the basket. Now I know this is kind of hard to see, but take your flathead screwdriver, skip over the first row of weaving, come in here, pick up 2, 3, 4 rows. It depends on how long your spoke is at the top. Give it a good bend in there. Then come in here and stick it down under 2, 3, 4 rows, whatever you need. Skip over your first weaver. I'll do one more. Skip over my first weaver. Stick it down 2, 3, 4 rows, whatever you need. Okay? If you bring it back here, you can see that these aren't straight. Just take your screwdriver and straighten up those rows down in there. When you finish that step, it should look like this. Now we're ready to put our rim on. We're going to take out our 1/2 inch flat oval. And we need to taper down the top part of this. You'll notice that it's flat on one side, oval on the other. Go back about 2 inches on the oval side and just take off that roundness. We want it to lay nice next to itself. Okay? Come up here, start on the outside of the basket, and clip this on. Work it around. Oh, every 5 or 6 inches you're going to put a clothespin. Now, where I started my whittling, back here 2 inches, that's where this is going to be cut. So we're going to trim this off, come in here and clip that down. Now, the other one I've kind of taken a step ahead, and I've already got it trimmed out 2 inches. I'm going to put it inside the basket, the flat side facing the basket. Work it under your handle. Using the same clips, come in here and clip it to it. The oval side out. I started it in an opposite corner of where I started the outside rim. I don't want them to overlap. And again, if it's too long, come in here and clip it off where you started your whittling. Now you're ready to do your lashing. I've chosen to use cane on this basket. Caning is something you may want to invest in. It is expensive, but it really makes a basket look rich. I'm going to come here on the end of your cane, or if you're using 1/4 inch flat, put a point because it'll travel through the basket easier. Coming up here, find out where your overlaps are, because we want to start away from our overlaps. Move my clothespin because I've decided to start right in here. You have a rim, you have your basket, and you have an outside rim. Starting inside your basket, come up with the cane or your lashing, whatever your 1/4 inch reed, and come up between the rim and the basket, circle down and go on the outside between the basket and the rim. So what you've done is circled around the basket. Take it and go to the front. Using your screwdriver, you're going to have 2 rows of weaving underneath the rim here. And open this up with your screwdriver between the 2nd and 3rd row of weaving and insert that back to the inside. Come back inside again. You're going to do this over again so that you've circled around twice, up between the inside rim and basket and out between the basket and the rim. Leave this little tail hanging out. We'll clip it off later. Come in here and grab this piece, and you're going to cross it on the top of your spoke. Now we're going to straighten out this piece of caning that I have. Put a point on this end if you need it. Come in here, go one over, open it up and slide it in. To save some time so I don't have to straighten this out each time, I'm going to come in here and I'm going to start that next one. Come back here. Caught on the table over here. Okay. I know it's a long piece to work with, but we want to keep it long because we're going to need that whole length. And this is called our lashing. When we get to our handle, we're going to take this piece and we're going to insert it over here, crossing in front of the handle. This cross is for two reasons. It's decorative and it also helps hold our handle in place. Pull it down. You have to pull this lashing tight. You want it real tight. Give this a yank over here. Pull it tight, bring this across this way and make your X here. Find the end of it again. I know this takes a while. We're working with a long piece. Go in the same hole you went in before. Pull it tight. Now reach behind here and get your lashing, bring it across, cross on the top of this spoke right here, and we're going in right here in this spot. Find the end again. Use your screwdriver if you need to open that up. That one happened to be open good for me. Come in here and pull this. Take this end, start it in the next, between the next two spokes, so you don't have to find that end each time. Come back and pull this one and pull it tight. Straighten out your lashing, pull it tight. Then you're going to keep right on weaving. Take off your clothespins as you come to them and stick this one down in here. Come back and pull this one. And keep right on going. Okay? You're going to lash all the way around. When you come over to this side, you're going to make your cross just like you did on the other side. Now I'd like to go to the next basket and show you the next step on how to end it. This one I have done in 1/4 inch flat reed rather than the caning. This one we have all of our lashing done. We're back to where we started now. Taking our flathead screwdriver, we're going to open this up between the lashing, between the rim and the basket on the inside. Slip our end up in there, give it a good tight pull, and slip it down on the outside here. Open it up. Turn your screwdriver and that helps open it up too. Stick your end down here. Now we have to do this twice. That's how it locks in. So you're going to come across here, open this up here between your weavers, take your end, stick it in, bring it back to the inside. Lashing is something that you won't get the first time. I'll almost guarantee it. It's something that takes practice. And you just take it step by step, and before you know it, you'll have it. Open this up. It's tight in there now because you've already gone around 3 times. 2 to get started and once at the end. Pull it up and slip it on the outside. And you'll end up with a tail on the outside again. The other tail I've already clipped off. Pull it tight, come in here with your scissors and clip this right off. Then you can't even see that end. Another way we can do is to clean up our basket is you'll have these little fuzzy hairs come in here. Just come in here and clip them off. Give them a good clip off there and clean them up. Over here I have a tail that I started that is left over when I did my twining. Bring your scissors in at an angle and clip that off. And it'll lay right down in there and you won't even see it. I'll show you again, but I don't have another tail on this one. But bring it in an angle, clip it off, and it'll lay down right in there nicely. There's some more straggly hairs in here. We'll come back in and we'll clean those up with our scissors. Some people will take a match and singe along their basket to clean up these hairs. I personally prefer just to take and my scissors and cleaning them up with my scissors. There we have a Granny Market basket. It has an open weave on the bottom. I see another number 2 right here. Take your scissors and go inside your basket. We have, you see this right here, this is a number 2 that's left a tail. Take your scissors, go inside, try to keep them at an angle, and just give that a clip. You want that piece to rest on a spoke inside there. Got another one. Then you can stain this basket. I've stained this one here with a basket stain. There are stains out made just for baskets. This one I've stained. This one's natural that we just finished. You can stain them at this point. Getting into a little bit of talk about some stains, if you're going to use stains, you can use a wood stain, but make sure it does not say it seals the wood. If it seals the wood, then it's going to make the basket very brittle. Our basket that we'll be doing next week is another market basket. Get some of these out of the way so you can see it. This one has a closed bottom. We'll be working on that. I've also put some seagrass and some dyed reed in this one. We're going to need a notched handle, and we'll be ready for next week's basket. I hope to see you then. Thank you for being with us.